Do you hear that? Is somebody in trouble? It sounds like somebody is screaming. Welcome to Lazy Movie Reviews. You know I gotta try to have a little bit of fun while I'm learning to do all this. We're gonna do a movie review for Ready or Not 2. This is a movie I have been looking forward to. Anyone that talks to me on a daily basis knows like horror movies, they're my favorite. Slashers in general, those are my favorite of all of the horror movies. Of course, you know I do like the monsters and the creatures and the people like Freddy Krueger and all that as well. I love it. Krueger's my goat actually when it comes to all that. But maybe I'll make a video about that sometime. Maybe a Halloween special. But I have been really looking forward to Ready or Not 2, and I wondered how are they going to do this movie? Like, this really could have been a one and done. And will they succeed at making a second movie and trying to continue the story? And let's get into it. So, you know, in my reviews lately, well, only on the last one, but hey, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. So we're going to talk about the trailers first. So from theater to theater, it is different sometimes depending on your area. So for me, the first trailer that popped off was You, Me, and Tuscany. And that movie, you know, it looks kind of cute. You know, I like all types of movies. I don't care if it's a love story, drama, horror. Like I watch them all. So it looks a little cute. The second trailer was Obsession. And I think that's going to be a banger. Like I really do think that one's gonna be a banger. It looks crazy and unique, and that's what I like is when they actually come up with a new idea. Because I mean, let's be real, we're through years and years of movies, and it's harder to come up with new ideas for these people now. And now we got AI about to start writing scripts and stuff, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Then we had the trailer for The Mummy. The Mummy looks interesting. You know, it looks interesting. I don't want to say banger yet, but then we got my boy Spidey. We got the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. I mean, I already seen it, but it was nice seeing it now on the big screen. And for me, it's gonna be a banger. And anytime we get banger after banger after banger on the trailers, I'm gonna play the Celtic Warrior clip. There wasn't enough bangers this time, but just because it's Spider-Man, roll it.
Banger after 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 banger.
And like I said, I like all different types of movies. So The Devil Wears Prada 2, the trailer's not a banger, but I'm gonna go ahead and say banger because that first one, I like the first Devil Wears Prada movie. Like it's a pretty dope movie. Wild Horse 9 looks, you know, it might do something. It might do some work. We'll see. We'll see. So let's go ahead and hop into the movie review for Ready or Not 2. So this time, how I want to start this out is I want to say the good about this movie. I want to say the bad about this movie. And then I want to say what could have probably made it a little more interesting for me. And I'll try to say that without ruining the ending. So the good of this movie is, man, it is brutal. Like if you're looking for a brutal movie, they take some beatings. Like it's pretty wild. Like how crazy some of these situations they get into are. So I would say that's a positive. The movie doesn't move slow. It does have a pretty good pacing. The movie paces really well. So I'd say that's another positive. Another good is I think they were able to find a way to launch this movie forward and they tried to build a lore now and they did find a way to make it make sense. But then that leads into the bad. So for me, the bad is I think they just want you to accept it. They just want you to accept it. Like they come up with a lot of things in this movie that are like, okay. I mean, I guess that launches it forward. And like the sister, I do think that they have good chemistry and everything. And I did like the little banter back and forth between them and the little trauma they built up there. But in the commercial, it made it look like she was just going to be randomly thrown in this movie. Like they present it like she gets kidnapped. You have to go along and continue the game, or else she says, I'm not going to continue this game. and then they present the sister. Like that's how they try to make it seem, but that's not how the sister gets thrown in the story. So I mean, I guess that would kind of launch back into some of the good for me, but it's just they make you accept it. Like you just got to accept that this is what's happening, and she's here. But another part of the bad is this girl in this movie like she must be Domino from Deadpool, like for real. Like when it came to the first movie, what was so crazy about it was there was this girl that she was not a fighter or anything like that. This family that they're not the professional fighters or anything as well, but like they know they have to kill this girl or they think that they're cursed and they're gonna like blow up, which we find out that's what happens in that first movie. At the end, we find out that what they feared did come true because she survived till dawn. But she was getting lucky through that whole first film, like left and right. Like she was just happening to survive. And now we have to watch that happen again, like her go through all these situations and she's getting lucky. Like she must be Domino, like from Deadpool. So that for me is a negative, but some things I think they could have did to launch forward if they're gonna do a third movie. When you see the ending, there's a choice. And I think they should have went the bipolar opposite of that and maybe dive a little deeper because we already went there. They're going into like devil worshipping and like that's what this movie gets into. Like, I mean, that's bad juju for me, like, but watching it on a film, okay. But if we're going to make another one, which they probably won't, but if this movie makes enough money, they probably will. They should have leaned further into it with that ending, and that could have been pretty crazy because the way that they end this film, I mean, it's just safe. So let's get into how I felt after each act. So how did I feel after the first act? After the first act, I feel good. I feel like they did a really good job just diving straight into the story, and it was a very entertaining start. After the second act, like this movie's flying, like it is flying. So after the second act, I'm that same way. I'm feeling good. The movie, it's moving. There's some things that are happening that I think are crazy. There's some things that are happening that I'm like, come on, guys. But whatever, I'm accepting it like they want us to do. I'm moving right along with the pace. I'm watching how brutal this movie is getting. Then after the third act, like you get to witness a crazy brutal scene. Like this movie, you could tell they leaned more into the comedy this time. The first movie had a perfect balance between everything. With this one, you could tell they're leaning more into the comedy, but then it just goes dark at one point. I won't say what happened, but with the bride's sister, there's a scene where you almost felt bad, like, oh my gosh, like, can somebody get Mike Tyson or Miss Cleo or somebody? Call me now? Can somebody please send someone? Like, there's a really crazy scene with the sister, and oh my gosh, there's a twist that happens, and it's like, whoa, okay, interesting. I mean, it doesn't catch you left field because you're kind of introduced to this, like they foreshadow it, and so then we're moving on to the final act. And then how do I feel after that last act? I mean, I'm satisfied, I guess. I say I guess because, like I said, they give you some things in this movie, they throw it at you, and they just expect you to accept it. And you're either going to accept it or you're not. And even if you don't, you're not going to hate this movie. You're just here to have fun. You're not here to take the movie too serious. I mean, look what the movie's about. It's about people who are worshiping the devil and they want to be on the high throne and have this power and all this stuff. Like, I mean, you can't take that too serious. So, I mean, I feel good. And like I said, I feel like they played it safe, and it is what it is. And we get the ending and it's like, okay. And then they do a callback to the first film. The sister has a pretty cool little thing she does there in the end before, it fades out and cuts out. And I just got to say, before I say what I rate this movie, there is a really awesome scene. Like If I gotta say what most of my feelings of this movie, like my final feelings of this movie, are influenced by, it's the scene between the bride and someone that comes into this film that really does not like her. Like she knows who she is and you'll figure it out. There's a really cool scene with them and the way they did the music and what they did to each other. It's funny. Like it's funny. It's brutal. It had everyone kind of giggling in my theater. So, anyways, when it comes to Ready or Not 2, I'm gonna rate this movie, and I'm confident, and I'm sticking with it, a 3.5 out of 5. That is what I'm sticking with. So thank you for joining my channel today and watching this with me and going through this review. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, or if you're not watching this until the beginning of the week, I hope your Monday is not hail, and I hope it's a good Monday for you. Have a good one, guys. Catch you next time.
I watch movies on